All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here on a Friday, and today we're going to be taking a look at another watch from AV-8 Watch Company. Not the first time I've checked out their watches here on the channel, and you guys can tell they're made in these really nice cardboard canvas covered boxes. These limited edition pieces come in these larger boxes like this, and usually they have the AV-8 logo on top, but as you can see on this particular one, it does not. It actually just has the star there, and once we open this box, you'll understand why. So this watch is referencing probably one of my favorite airplanes ever developed in the history of aircraft, and that'd be the P-51 Mustang, a very probably one of the most significant aircrafts of World War II, a great all-arounder that was made in large production numbers. So this is the P-51 Mustang. Now the actual reference number on this watch here, let me pull it out of here and we'll take a look at it. The reference number on this one is the AV-4069-02. That's a color reference number. We'll go ahead and put that back in there, take a look at what's in the box. Now you've got two straps that come with this watch. This one is really interesting. We'll take a look at it. I'll actually get it on the watch when I get it on for the loom shot, so we'll get a look at it. Comes with the spring bar tool, comes with like these special editions do. They have the little metal card down here inside that gives you the reference number. This is the Bottisham automatic. If you guys weren't familiar, the actual first P-51s that saw combat during World War II were flown by the RAF in 1942. So here on the back of the card, you can get a little bit more information. Lots of really neat information they put on these cards here. I'm not going to read it all to you. If you guys want to, you can pause that and take a look at it. You also get a spring bar tool, and down below the card here are extra spring bars. A little bit of influencer information up here in the top, and you get a micro cloth there. So let me go ahead and pull the watch. We'll pull this strap out and we'll move everything else here out of the way so we can really just take a look at the watch here. Now guys, this is a really neat rendition. I really like what they did with this watch. Now it's available in a number of different colorways. Like I said, this one having the green and yellow in it, which I think is really neat. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the movement started so you guys can check it out. This watch is running the Seiko NH35 movement, your standard 24 joules, 21,600 vibrations per hour. One of the things I think is really cool is if you look there at the dial, they've actually put a tag on there to identify that VPH, the vibrations per hour. Since we've got it close up here, we'll take a closer look at the dial itself. Little hard to see with the reflection, but you guys can see those are actually cut out, the indices there at the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9. There's actually depth to those, actually cut out, and there's quite a bit of lume put in there. So very much a cool looking watch. Now, how much this actually has anything to do with the P-51 Mustang, I'm not really sure. They do describe the sleekness of the case, of course, having to do with the sleekness of that plane itself. And then if you look over here at the crown itself, you guys can see these 6 dots here on the crown guard itself. Those are representing the pipes, the side pipes for that Rolls-Royce Merlin engine that the P-51 Mustang ran. So really neat looking watch here. Great watch, great size. Let's go ahead and take some measurements and get the specs out of the way on this watch. So from side to side on the case of this watch, not including that pretty large and substantial crown guard, you're looking at about a 42.5, 43 millimeter case. From lug to lug, I'm thinking we're going to come in close to 50 on this watch. Yeah, 49.8, so right at 50 millimeters. And thickness is a 13.1. This does have a domed sapphire crystal on it. You've got lug openings of 22. So yeah, domed sapphire crystal. It does have AR coating on it. You could probably pick it up a little bit there in the light of the office. Really neat aviation style hands here on this watch. I call them aviation style hands because these are really reminiscent of your gauge, your instrument cluster hands on this watch. I mean, that's really the whole idea behind them. If you look at the, your altimeter on a plane or anything like that, very similar handsets to these watches. Very much going on with this dial here. If you look a little bit closer, if I can capture it, you've got an actual step to the dial, and you have some kind of worn look here between the 6 and the 9 portion, kind of looking like a cockpit gauge. Really nice. I like the yellow they did on the date wheel there. Of course, with the NH35, you get a date wheel. They've moved it down here to the 4 o'clock position. So flipping the watch over, let's take a look at the case back. There you've got the star on the case back. These are limited edition pieces, so they do have limited edition numbers down there on the bottom. Lets you know what number this watch is. Now these are prototype models, so these are not actually, these are, influencer models. These go out to YouTube channels. I don't think this watch is actually available yet, so I'll leave the information down at the bottom where you can get signed up, but it does let you know that this watch has sapphire crystal. And of course, you can see the decorated rotor there on that Seiko NH35 movement that AV-8 has done there, putting this watch. Really good looking watch, great looking piece. I love this leather strap. Has these padded portions up here at the top that remind me of almost like the seat belts you would have in an airplane. Kind of really reminds me of that, the bumps and stuff for the padding and whatnot. Leather, very nicely done, padded. She has the AV-8 logo there. This one has a little bit of a green keepers on it, which is nice. Add to that colorway. And on the back, also some nice color, genuine leather there. I'm going to go ahead and pause it for just a second, and we'll get this watch on my 7-inch wrist. All right, so there is the watch on my 7-inch wrist. Now, even with my new diffused lighting I've got here in the office, I'm really picking up a lot of reflections on this crystal. I think it just has to do with the size of the dome on this. I think this is a single dome or a double dome? But it's really got quite a bit of bump to it, so it may be causing a little bit more distortion and a little bit more reflection. But good looking watch, fits the watch, the wrist very well. I love the fact that they've brushed this case and bezel on top and done some really beautiful polishing along the side of the case. Some of the nicer polishing I've actually seen on a case from AV-8 watches. So the watch band wears extremely comfortable. This leather one especially is very nice. I'm very interested to see how this will fit on the watch. Now, if you don't not familiar with these, you're actually gonna, and I'll actually put this here on the watch here before I go out with the loom shot, but your watch is gonna sit right here, your pins are gonna go on either side, so it's almost gonna be like a balloon strap, and then it's gonna wrap around underneath here, and you're gonna double back and put it on like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. We'll get the lights dimmed, but before I dim the lights, I'll put it on this strap here, and then we'll dim the lights for a loom shot. I'll show you the loom on this watch. All right, guys, sorry, that took me a few minutes. That's the watch on the cuff strap. It does have all this writing on here like a government contract, which I think is pretty neat. It is very, very comfortable on the watch. It's a little stiff right now, and I was able to get it on the watch. A little bit of a headache for me because I thought it went on one way and it actually goes on a different way. I'll actually pull it off here and show you where the watch actually sits on the strap itself. It actually sits up here at the top, and then this goes through as such. And you're going to bring it around like that. And when you wear it on the wrist, of course, everything lining up. If you with the Velcro, you want to get that line up straight. But very cool. Let's go ahead and dim the lights, and I'll show you the great, great loom here on this AV-8 P-51 Mustang. So it seems like every time I get an AV-8 in for review, the loom gets a little better and a little better and a little better. This one's being no different. It really has good loom. I do think they're using Swiss Super Luminova on these watches nowadays. So it really, really glows nicely, as you can see. Very nice Flieger style dial, as you can see up there at the top, the triangle and the 2 dots. I'm not really sure if that's Flieger A, Flieger B. You guys know all that stuff. I don't really keep up with it, but great, great looking watch from AV-8. Now, I know a lot of people complain because they say it doesn't actually have history or actual watch history. No, but they really do a great job with these themed watches they do over that AV-8. I'll leave a link down below at the bottom where you guys can get on the list to sign up for these watches. Definitely a great looking piece and definitely a very fun watch with everything it comes with. So, all right, guys, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.